Ryan, the responsible rhino. It was an exciting day for the learning critters. Mr. Lion had put up a poster about the Great Learning Critters Bake Off. Each year in the Great Learning Critters Bake Off, all of the learning critters try to bake the most fantastic cake to try to win the Bake Off trophy. It was particularly exciting this year as Mary Berry, the famous cook from the television, was coming to judge the cakes. Everyone was very excited. The learning critters all set off to think about what kind of cake they were going to bake. Colin wanted to make a Black Forest gâteau with cherries on top. Ellie wanted to bake a sponge cake with pink icing and strawberries on the top. Rocky wanted to make a chocolate brownie with raisins and marshmallows. Ryan wanted to make a fruit cake with raisins, apricots and almonds. Iggy wanted to make cupcakes with cherries on top. Tanya and Tara wanted to make a sponge cake together with a layer of raspberry sponge and a layer of vanilla sponge. And Silas wanted to make a jam and cream sponge cake. All of the learning critters set to work, weighing, stirring, whisking and chopping to create their wonderful cakes. Ryan, the responsible rhino, took his time, following the recipe closely. He carefully weighed out each of the ingredients and mixed them together thoroughly. He baked it slowly in the oven and kept checking the clock to make sure it wouldn't burn. When it was time, Ryan took the cake out of the oven. It looked incredible. He was very proud of it. Meanwhile, Silas set to work to make his sponge cake. As it was a nice day, he wanted to make his cake quickly so he could go out and play. He quickly guessed how much of each ingredient he would need without weighing them. He didn't have enough eggs, but to save time, he made do with what he had. He stirred up the mixture and then popped it in a very hot oven to cook as quickly as he could. When Silas took his cake out of the oven, it was a bit flat and a little bit burnt, but he slapped on some jam and cream and thought it would do. He rushed out into the garden to play. The next day was the day of the bake-off judging. All of the learning critters brought their cakes along to school to be judged. All of the cakes looked incredible. Well, actually, most of them did. Everyone was very excited when Mary Beary arrived. She took her time examining each cake, checking they were baked properly and tasting a slice of each one. It was tough work. Finally, Mary had tasted every cake. Most were delicious. She made up her mind and was ready to announce who had won. The winner of the Great Learning Critters Bake Off is Ryan the Responsible Rhino. She explained how she was impressed that he had taken his time to produce a cake of which he must be very proud. Mary presented Ryan with the trophy, and he even had his photograph in the newspaper. Meanwhile, Silas was feeling a bit fed up. He was a bit disappointed with his cake, but he knew he had rushed it and missed out some of the ingredients. Next time, he thought he would try his best and take his time to create a cake he could be proud of. Mr. Lion says, if something is worth doing, it is worth doing properly. Do it nice or do it twice. Just like Ryan the Responsible Rhino, have a responsible attitude towards your work. Take your time and try your best, and you will always be proud.